views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
This show's audio was via a Skype call.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Angel Healing House Radio. My name is Candy Hough. Through my business, Angel Healing House, which can be found at angelhealinghouse.com. I'm a writer and an author, an international radio host, a Reiki master teacher, and an angel practitioner. My inspirational books entitled Angels of Faith and One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and my autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, are based on my recollections of our life in spirit, and they help us to remember our divine, eternal natures. Through Angel Healing House, I help people to let go of sadness, anger, bitterness, resentment, and regret that has kept them locked in the prison of the past, and I help them to let go of worry, stress, and control, which has kept them focused on an imagined future. And once they are no longer living in the past or the future, they can start to live in the present moment, which is the only place that they can experience synchronicities, miracles, and magic. As an angel practitioner, I help people to see their lives from a higher perspective with the help of an extraordinary group of angels who call themselves the Posse of Angels. Just like my angelic family, the Posse of Angels, I'm very excited to take some of your calls for that free angel advice. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. But before we get to those callers, welcome everyone to Angel Healing House Radio, and welcome to a brand new theme for this new month of July, which is how to connect to angels. You know, it is interesting that the Posse of Angels suggested that even though I've spoken about connecting to angels before, they said it was a really good time for people to refresh their knowledge on the subject, as the veil between the physical and the non-physical worlds is always getting thinner and thinner, moment by moment. Now, the reason for this happening is that so many people are waking up and shifting to experience a more awakened state of consciousness. And because like energies attract like energies, I wasn't surprised when a client said to me, would you be able to give me some advice on how I can be more spiritual and how I can better connect with my angels? Well, firstly, the Posse of Angels finds this question of how we can be more spiritual very amusing, as we are already spiritual beings having a human experience, and we don't have to do anything to be more spiritual. And as much as just allow ourselves to be and accept that we are already divine, eternal beings. You know, everyone, I asked this client how often she connects with her angels and under what circumstances. She said, now that she thinks about it, she said, well, it's not very often that she makes time to focus on her angelic connection. She said she usually calls upon them only when she's upset, when she's sad and angry, and particularly when things are not working out in her life and when she wants something. I asked this client to think about her relationship with her angels in the same way as any other relationship that she might have with close friends. She said she was lucky because she had several very dear close friends. I then said, okay, imagine that you only called these friends when you were upset and only when you were pleading and begging for something from them. Or perhaps you called to whine and complain that they're not doing a good enough job giving you what you want. How strong and how long lasting do you think that this close friendship would be? Well, she thought for a moment and said, none of my girlfriends would be happy with that kind of a relationship. And I guess if I did that, they would stop having contact with me. In many ways, establishing a wonderful connection to our angels is no different to the focus that we put on nurturing close, dear friendships. And while the angels are bound by duty to God to help us, I can tell you that they are much more inclined to establish a warm, inviting connection with someone who is not always harassing them for things and complaining about how their life is not working out and how the angels are not doing a good enough job for giving them what they want. Now, firstly, I advise my clients to initially, if they really do, and they're serious about setting up a beautiful connection to the angels, I suggest that they initially set up a regular time every day that they wish to establish contact with the angels. By showing up every day at the same time, you show the angels that they are a priority in your life and that this connection is one of importance. Putting your focus on how important this connection is will only strengthen the energetic alignment between you and your angels. And while some say the time of day really does not matter, what I've experienced is that the early morning hours or evening around dusk is the optimal time for connection. Perhaps this is because for many, the workday is over and the busyness of life starts to slow down. Now, I've heard from my clients who have children, and they say that's when my work week starts, when the children come home from school and things start to get busy in the home. So I suggest to them maybe leave it after the children fall asleep, maybe after 8 or even 9 o'clock. Now, so once you've established whatever time works for you, it's important to determine where you will connect with your angels. And while there are some who say that they prefer to connect with angels in nature, as Mother Nature enhances the energies and the connection that they have, I've always liked to dedicate a room or a portion of a room in my home by making a sacred altar. Now, as this dedicated area is only for this one purpose of this angelic connection, the energies will remain pure and only for this purpose. Knowing that this area was only dedicated for that angelic connection, I would make sure before anything else that I cleared the room of clutter. I honored the room, I honored the space, and thoroughly cleaned and saged the room. In this way, only light, bright energies would be. Now, before establishing connection, I made sure that even before I sat down, I was calm and peaceful. I was not bringing my worries, my complaints. I was not bringing my whining or stressing about life to my altar. To help me to surrender my worries, outside of my healing room where my altar was, I placed a worry box outside the room that my altar was in. Now, by surrendering and putting and writing out my concerns and writing out those worries and placing them in the worry box, I let go of that worry, that stress, that control, and my emphasis on lack and scarcity, things I didn't have, and things that were that were an illusion of not going well in my life. And in this way, I was clear to put my focus on higher vibrational frequency, like things like gratitude and appreciation, love, forgiveness, non-judgment, and peace. The altar that one creates can be a table in a corner of a room. It could be at top of a dresser, or perhaps a wide window ledge or on a bay window. On altars that I have created in the past, I've lovingly draped them with scarves of colors that resonated with what I wanted to work with at the time. For instance, light blue color is very peaceful and is very calming. Sunny yellow is bright, uplifting, and cheery. And let's say green is very soothing, it's very healing. And yet the color that resonated most with me, and still does, color I'm wearing today, is pink, which is unconditional love. And while each person's altar is different, there are certain things that one can do to help encourage angels and make the atmosphere peaceful, welcoming, and inviting for them to come in. One thing that I've always had on either my altar or in my healing practice are beautiful crystals. Now, these are living energies, and as such, they emit beautiful, high frequency energies. And while picking out which crystals to put on your altar is a very personal preference, there are some stones that I've found that lend themselves particularly well with angel connection. For instance, the soft, delicate pink of rose quartz is unconditional love. The deep indigo blue and gold of lapis lazuli and purple of amethysts lift us up. They open our psychic awareness to connect to higher spiritual realms. Clear quartz is a really good one to put it on your altar. It cleanses the area of any disruptive frequencies, and it lifts and it amplifies whatever intention we bring to our altar. And I particularly like the delicate, soft sky blue color of celestite. And if you've never heard or seen this, this is a wonderful stone. It lifts our energies to connect with the celestial heaven. I cannot get enough of this absolutely beautiful stone. So once we have all our crystals in place, another thing you can put on your altar is candles. Candles are wonderful for providing a beautiful glow to the room and make for an inviting, warming atmosphere. Candles are also very helpful, especially after a long day of work and family chores, to help us to look at that flame and to center our attention and concentrate on the reasons that we are there in the first place. You know, when I created my first altar with the sole purpose of connecting to the angels, I lit a candle every time I sat down. And in addition to the beautiful visual warmth and the beautiful crystals, we can involve the lifting of our energy with our sense of smell by using beautiful essential oils in oil burners or burning incense. You know, I've noticed with the Posse of Angels always being around me that they are particularly fond of the scent of roses. And I have a rose room spray that I use in my healing room. So once you've created a sacred spot and I've used it for this express purpose, there'll be a buildup of higher energies, lighter frequencies, and it feels so wonderful to be enveloped by these loving energies. Quite frankly, countless people in the last 15 years who have visited my Angel Healing House office state that they feel enveloped in love and they feel so peaceful and so calm, stress-free, and they do not want to leave. When you are first establishing your angel connection, you may experience certain physical signs that the angels are with you. One of the first things that I noticed when I established my daily connection with them is that the temperature in the room dropped dramatically, and I felt cool breezes across my skin with no windows being open or fans or air conditioning in the room. One thing I loved to see was when I lit the candle that it would start again to zigzag back and forth wildly and grow very, very tall. And I noticed that occasionally the angels would, my hanging chime would tinkle again with no fans, no open windows, and no air conditioning. And because I established such a solid, strong foundation of a relationship with my angelic family, um, beginning at my altar in my healing practice, I then found that once I did that, that I could replicate this same high frequency absolutely anywhere at any time. With this practice in place and putting external things like crystals and statues and candles and incense to make sure that we are mindful about raising our energies within to be in direct alignment with the high frequencies of the angelic realm. It's vastly important once we get those external things in place that we focus our attention on raising our frequencies within ourselves and being really conscious of the energies that we're holding within. The first thing to take note of is that we can only connect with angels in the present moment, as the past and the future do not exist. Just on last week's program, a caller said that she was so fed up with people controlling her and that made her angry. Well, the Posse of Angels and I assured her that nobody can make her angry, and this was an emotion that she was choosing to have. Many people choose to put their emphasis on things like anger, sadness, bitterness, regret, and resentment, and keep themselves imprisoned in the past as they choose to keep replaying a feeling that doesn't make them happy and it doesn't create joy. The only reason one would choose to keep rehashing these feelings that make us feel awful is that we're trying to justify why blame others, justifying that we are victims, which we are certainly not. Now, to stop this cycle, it's vastly important to take responsibility and accountability for absolutely every part of our lives, because every person, place, and thing that has ever occurred is not there by happen chance. It's there because you scripted and you wrote these people and events into your contract. And even though it is really hard to fathom, you even chose people's contrasting characteristics, like being controlling. And you did this in order to push your buttons and irritate you so that you could be challenged to grow. Now, the reason for this is that we learn our best lessons in contrast. And it is through challenge that we really take note of the lessons, and it's often through the actions of contrasting people that we get to learn things like tolerance, unconditional love, and forgiveness for someone who is so vastly different from us. Okay, so the first thing to change our energies within and let go of blame and being a victim is to take responsibility for your life. Secondly, as I mentioned, our ability to connect with the angels has all to do with allowing our vibrations to be light and high as possible. One of the major things that hampers people's energies from being light and flowing is being weighed down by not forgiving. When we take full responsibility for our lives, we realize that those people that we chose not to forgive would not be in our lives if we didn't write them into our contracts to teach us by contrast. Not forgiving others has absolutely no effect on other people. But you know what it does? It weighs us down and negatively compromises what we can manifest, and it weighs down our immune systems. Actually, forgiving others is one of the most wonderful things that we can do for our emotional, spiritual, mental, and our physical health. Now, the third thing that helps immensely to be able to free up our energies, to be light and flowing and loving like the angels, is not to judge. Judgment is a form of control that we utilize in order to be right, and we utilize it to remain a victim and blame others because we all have free will. Each of us gets to choose how we want to walk our journey in life. And because we each have our own set of fingerprints, our choices may not be the choices that someone else wishes to choose. After all, many of us are very quick to judge others, but we would certainly not like someone else to tell us how we can walk our journey. And because of the laws of attraction, when we choose to judge others, we invite more judgment into our lives. The next important principle to help our vibrational frequencies to soar in direct alignment with the angels is to be in constant gratitude and appreciation for exactly what we have. We each have infinite blessings been gifted to us by God's source, and most of the time we take them for granted. By putting our emphasis on gratitude, this powerful energy lifts our focus to the heavens and opens us up to receive more. And last but certainly not least, without conditions and without anything, the last one is to love unconditionally. Because when we do this, we allow love to flow through us unencumbered by any circumstances and conditions. Giving love is not determined on what another person does or on any set of circumstances. This free feeling of living with unconditional love without conditions and judgment allows us to fully embrace our divine, eternal natures. And then it's very natural to be connected with God's divine messengers, the angels, because it then simply becomes a case of like attracting like. And when I went to my cards to seek some additional information from our animal spirit cards, I was giggling because it opened the door for a very magical animal to come through. And who should appear but the unicorn? The unicorn brings us the message to reconnect to our higher wisdom, to our divinity. And in this way, we're able to perceive, we're able to hear, and sense those beings like this horned horse who are not of the earth, and they exist in other dimensions. Unicorn actually asks us to see the graceful, elegant magic of our individuality. And he says to us, please do not be afraid of your uniqueness. Don't be afraid to stand out in a crowd. Be confident in the magic of your soul by expressing authentically who you are. The unicorn appears to remind us all to open to our curiosity about our higher selves and to not allow ourselves to be restricted only by our five limited senses, our five limited physical senses. In this way, we will be more receptive to having deeper experiences and connections in our lives, like an easy, graceful ability to connect with the angels. So thank you, Mr. Unicorn, or Mrs. Unicorn, I should say. And off you go. You've been listening to me, Claire Candy Hough, on Angel Healing House Radio. And if you would like a free angel reading, we are going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we will be taking some of those calls for free angel readings. You can call into the show on 1-800-930-2819. And my wonderful family, angelic family, the Posse of Angels, and I would love to take your calls. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll see you when we come back.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Hough, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com. Have you discovered the remarkable books at angelhealinghouse.com? Author Claire Candy Hough has channeled rare books of inspiration and insight.
Angels of Faith is an inspiring story of healing, comfort, and hope that reminds us that death is not to be feared, but embraced with joy.
One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, takes readers on a roller coaster ride through Angel Ariel's 5 most important lives on Earth, as well as her experiences in the afterlife, and helps us remember our own journey across the veil.
And Claire Candy's autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, which details the 2003 soul exchange that took place when Claire Candy walked out of her body and Angel Ariel walked in, creating heaven on earth for herself and others.
To find out more about these wonderful books, visit angelhealinghouse.com today.
Hello, everyone. You're back with me, Claire Candy Hough, on Angel Healing House Radio. Remember that Angel Healing House Radio airs every week at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on this lovely platform of Transformation Talk Radio. And we're about to take those callers for free angel readings with myself and the Posse of Angels. But before I get to that, I wanted to remind everyone that we are in for an energetically jam-packed week ahead, and it's starting with the new moon in Cancer this Thursday. Cancer, the crab, usually has our emotions running high, yet they might be running higher than normal, as this new moon will be what they call a supermoon. A supermoon occurs when the new moon or full moon hits the point in its orbit where it's closest to the Earth, making it suddenly appear so much larger. It is thought that when the moon is super, its spiritual effects grow stronger, and it may have us feeling more energized or motivated than usual. With this said, its recharging effects may feel especially like it's restoring us, making us hit that reset button, and it makes us feel like we want to start new chapters in our lives. So be aware of this new moon. Maybe you can write out your new moon intentions. And also, not only is it a new moon, but Friday we have a partial solar eclipse. And is always that are what we have been in answer to what we've been focusing on. So get your intentions and wishes on by considering what are the things you're hoping to change with this new moon and open up to receiving, and what you would like this eclipse to reveal for you. In many ways, expect the unexpected. Let's go to our first caller. We have Shar. Shar, you're on the line with Claire Candy Hough. How are you today?
Hi, Claire. I'm fantastic. I have a question. I've been called to write a book, and everything's falling into place, but to me it seems backwards to what anybody else would do. but I'm just calling upon the angels to... I've been trying to connect through meditation, but I've had physical challenges too.
Right.
So just allowing that flow. I'm waiting for the flow, the words to come out. You know, it's like I'm blocking myself.
Yes, I can feel that.
Like
yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. One of the things when I started opening up to writing my books is that the flow started really coming steadily. Any hour of the day when I sat down, it just poured out of me, and I wondered when you were speaking what the difference was. And the difference with me was that I realized it's not coming from me.
Exactly. That's what I'm waiting for. The flow from spirit to flow through me.
Right.
To flow through me.
So I'm asking them if it's a question of timing with you. And I'm asking the Posse of Angels if you're open. Shar, they're saying that you're open. Look, if you found your way to me, if you found your way to Angel Healing House, and you're able to hear my words and perceive the frequency that I'm emitting, you're open. They're saying, yes, my beloved Shar, you're open. Okay? It's a question of... Okay, so at least you can rest. You can rest quietly and serenely in that knowledge. Okay? That you are open. This is a question of timing, they're saying. Now, why would it be a question of timing? They're saying it's a question of timing because of your health.
Okay.
Okay?
What can I do to raise my frequency, my vibrational frequency to radiate the best health?
I will give you an exercise which has helped countless people the last 15 years. And I only did it in sessions, but now the Posse of Angels are saying, since I'm stepping out and to a wider platform, is to share this with others. And it can be very frustrating when we are spiritually aware, conscious, enlightened, opened, whatever you want to call us. And we have done all of the work, the forgiveness, the non-judgment, and we're still having troubles cutting cords or releasing any negativity. Have you listened to the show before and heard the acknowledgement process?
I'm not exactly sure what you're speaking of, so I'm going to be upfront and honest about that.
Okay, so the first thing that you
I can't hear you.
Yourself, in the higher self of anyone in your past that still has any triggers or reactive behaviors attached to them. If you think of about them or the things that happened with them, this is a good person to do it with. There might be more than one person to do this with. And then you bring in their higher self and you say their name and you say, I acknowledge that I wrote you into the contract of my life. I acknowledge I wrote your contrasting characteristics into the contract of my life. Because if I didn't write you into the contract of my life, you wouldn't be in my life, A, and B, you wouldn't act the way you are. So I control everything and everybody that shows up. It's not happen chance. And what are the events? So in this way, through this acknowledgement, you lift off blame, you lift off victimhood, and you become clear. The second is you thank them Thank them profusely for giving up part of their incarnation and coming back and playing this contrasting role in order for you to learn your lessons in contrast. For learning things like tolerance, patience, acceptance, and forgiveness often come through contrast. Thank them from the bottom of their heart. They didn't have to come back and play this actor's role in the theater of your life in order for you to learn this contrast. And no doubt you've swapped roles many times in previous incarnations. The third is to bless them, bless that person for their decisions and choices and for whatever journey they choose, because we wouldn't want anybody to tell us how to walk our journey. So that's blessing them. And then the fourth one is to release them from having any negative effect. And as so many people hold on to things because they want to be right rather than being peaceful and happy. So once you start, one client of mine says, well, once I started thinking about all of those people, I got quite a list. And she said, can I group them all together? And I said, no. You have to call in the higher self of each person and close your eyes and with your inner vision, look directly in their lives and love them and thank them and acknowledge them for being in your lives. Now, so much of the negativity and the triggers for our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health rely on our relationships and the illusions that we hold on to. So they're saying that would be really helpful in bringing not only things into alignment, but making space and creating a very clear passageway for you to be, like I said, for you to be open, not only open, but the timing for that to come in. So they're kind of holding it at bay until you are your energies are more in alignment. So let's go to the cards and see what comes out for our lovely Shar.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. The first card that's coming out for you is, of course, it's the High Priestess. And the High Priestess in this position as the overall general card is for you to really tap into your life, see it from a higher perspective, to really become clear, and to get your emotional and mental, physical, and all those things about you. What physical symptoms are you having?
What was triggered last year after a death in the family was fibromyalgia is what they call it, but it was a nervous system disorder and pain throughout the nervous system. Mm-hmm. And basically, like, I've been working with the angels for years too, but I went into Reiki, and the Reiki practitioner worked on me, and there was a gold, like the whole room lit up in gold, and she said, you're a light worker. But most of the pain was in the feet, like grounding, like grounding myself.
Okay.
I've been trying to work with meditation, whatever I can do, affirmations, work with you, I'm open. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first one is to rise above your life, see it from a higher perspective, and then ground yourself. They're also saying that's really important, to be in Mother Nature quite a lot, walk without shoes on the ground so you can ground yourself. The second card coming in for you is the celebration. Now they're saying this is the celebration of you writing this book. It's a very important book for not only yourself, but to share with others, and to know that all they're waiting for is for you to bring those things into alignment, close those doors, energetically, and then you will be celebrating as the flow will happen, and then the next card is the Lover's card. Now, this is a choice, as the Lover's card so often represents to us, for your free will. A lot of us stop ourselves and sabotage ourselves from bringing forth the knowledge because we were destroyed in previous lifetimes because of it. But they want to reiterate that this will not happen in this lifetime, and that and for you to choose to bring it forth because it will increase your joy. It will, in this lifetime, you're free to do this, and you will feel like you're flying. You have written. They're saying you have written in other lifetimes, and it's like riding a bike with you, and you'll remember how to do this, and you'll be able to do this very easily. But the main thing is to get your health back in order. So, going on to the next caller, I hope that's been helpful for you. Thank you, Shar. Take care. Bye-bye. We are going to our next caller. Let's take Cynthia. Cynthia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
I'm okay. So synchronicity must have been working because I just turned you on, and I was listening to you, and I was working on my altar, my corner.
Oh, my gosh.
When you were talking. So it was exactly working. So I wanted to see if the angels had any messages for me. It's been a difficult past 2 weeks. 2 more people that I know died. So this weekend is one of their funerals, and he was only 58, and he was a good friend of my husband's that passed away 9 months ago. So now there's 4 men in their 50s that all had passed. And then the next weekend there's another service for this other gentleman who was a friend of ours, and he was only 53. Oh. So I'm feeling a lot of heavy energy.
Okay. The first thing that the Posse of Angels want you to know, sweetheart, is they died exactly when they're supposed to die. You say he was only 58, only 53. Right. We contract, and it's so difficult for us who have, we've only known a physical existence. That the angels actually laugh when they say, oh, he died too early. Nobody dies too early or too late. They cross over exactly when their lessons have been learned, when their experiences are over, and they are then called to come back to their one true home, as I speak about in my novel, One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, and I spell it out, what happens in our contracts, what happens in our earthly lives, and then when we cross over to that one true home behind the veil of forgetfulness. Now, this doesn't mean, if we know this, it doesn't mean that we don't grieve. I mean, I terribly miss the physical presence of my dad who crossed 2 years ago. And it is very difficult, but it does make it a little bit easier knowing that they finished and they get to go home to nirvana, they get to go home to heaven. Not only that, the Posse of Angels are telling me that these 2 individuals are now part of your angelic group. They are spirit guides. They're their spirit guides, and they will be there for you to call on, and to provide clarity and guidance and protection. So. In the non, so they really want you to know that they're always there. They're always there with you, and as close as your next breath. A lot of people, Cynthia, think that heaven is somewhere way, way, way up there, but it's not. It's a parallel dimension they cross over to, and it is close as our next breath. So you have lived many lifetimes with these two. They are in your soul group, and you've chosen to come back and play different roles. I would say, actually, with one of them, it feels like you were married to him in a previous incarnation. Right? To one or both? No, you're married to one, and one may have been a relative in a past incarnation. So that's why there is this tug on your heart that they're not physically here with you yet again in another incarnation, but they want the Posse of Angels really want you to make sure that you connect with them. Every time you sit down at your altar, you call upon them and you listen. And you listen with your heart, they're saying, which is beautiful. Listen with your heart. So let's go to the cards and see what comes out. Our first card is, well, it's the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands cards is the card of rising above. It's often the card of rising above, of seeing things from a different perspective, seeing things from a different angle, and in this way, when the grief gets overbearing or when it becomes really difficult for you, send them love. Talk to them. Okay? Use their name and say, I do this with my dad all the time. Sometimes I hear a song that my dad, you and I used to dance to. I'm his only daughter, and I have 3 brothers, and I wouldn't say I was his favorite, but we danced together when I was a little girl, and when I hear those songs, I cry, and I don't stop myself from crying, but I say, I love you, Dad, and thank you for all the messages you send me. And we are actually much closer now that he's passed. And so a lot of the things that he's let go of. So please do rise above this and see it from a higher perspective. And then the luxuriant card comes in, the 9 of Pentacles. This is a card of a golden card of abundance, of knowing that the connection is there. The one of the things that really hampers people in their grief is thinking that the person is gone. And the Posse of Angels are really stressing that this person is not gone. And then the World card comes in. And then this is the Universe card. You are part of the universe, that these two and the people that cross over are a part of. So the more you feel a part of their existence, the more they will be part of your existence. So I hope that's been helpful for you.
Yes, it has. Thank you very much, Kathy. Yes.
Okay, have a lovely day. Sending you lots of love and blessings. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye. Let's go to our next caller. We have Andrea in Virginia. Andrea, you're on the line with Claire Candy Hough. How are you today? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, Andrea. You're on the line with Claire Candy Hough. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, what's your question?
I've been dating this guy for about a month and a half, and he was supposed to go get a promotion to another state, and it's going to be postponed. Do you think it's going to be postponed again? Do you think he's going to go take this promotion or not go?
Okay, so you want to know what he's going to do, correct?
Yes. I want to know if maybe the company will postpone it again, or maybe he'll decide to stay, or will he still take the promotion and go? He's supposed to go to Chicago.
Okay, and you're dating him?
Yes, I've been going out for about a month and a half now.
Okay, the most important part of all of this is that the Posse of Angels want you to take your focus off of what he's going to do, because he has free will and free choice. They could tell you in this moment what he's going to do, but because he has free will, he could change it as soon as we end this conversation. So
True.
Okay. So what they want you to do is they want you to bless him for whatever choices that he makes.
Oh, and I have.
Okay. All right. So they're saying that they cannot tell you with 100% certainty, because he has free will, what he's going to choose.
Okay.
Okay.
I know the company has postponed it once. I wonder if maybe the company will postpone it again. I don't know.
Okay, and the company has free will too. They might get an opening as well. So that's a question which the Posse of Angels, they could answer it, but they're saying it's not going to stick. They're showing a big glue jar. It's not going to stick, or with sticky tape or anything like that. So, but
Okay.
they want you. They want you to ask yourself. Are you blessed? Do you feel blessed in this relationship? Do you feel like you have to compromise yourself in any way? Because
No.
Okay, all right. Well, that's really important. And if he does end up moving, whatever happens, bless it, because so many times we can't see things with our limited linear minds and our visual sight, as to everything happens for our highest good. Everything does.
Right.
It may not seem it in the moment it's happening, but let me tell you, for our soul's expansion, for our experiences, and for the betterment and the greatest good of ourselves and somebody else, it's always working out for us. So whatever happens, the Posse of Angels are saying to you, Andrea, you say, thank you for this happening out for my greatest good, because then you fill yourself with positive light and you open yourself up to receive more positive light. Let's go to the cards and see what comes out. We've got about 3 minutes left. So the first card, isn't this lovely? The first card that comes out is the Star card. And the Star card is always a card of faith, trust, and hope. So when you get a little bit stressed about not knowing something, you go within your heart and you speak directly from your heart to God and the angels and say, look, I'm getting a little bit stressed because I can't figure this out, but thank you for always having my back. Thank you for things working out for my greatest good, even though I can't see it in this moment. So that's the Star card of hope. The next one, oh my gosh, you got the Wish card. You got the Wish card, the 9 of Cups. There's only one Wish card out of 78. I'm getting shivers all over. And they want you to make a wish, my dear. Put your focus and an intention on what you want. Now, you can't control anyone else, but you can visualize, especially with this new moon coming up and the eclipse coming up, which is going to reveal things unexpectedly for us. They want you to write down what you intend for your life, your wishes, your prayers, and your intentions, and thank God for fulfilling those, not in the how and the when, because that's God and the angels' providence. That's not ours. But say thank you for fulfilling these wishes in unexpected ways, in magical ways, and all I have to do is remain in and keep my frequencies high and abundant. The next card that is coming out for you is the 2 of Cups card. Now, this is not the kissy, smoochy, smoochy card, but this is certainly a partnership card. This is a card of coming together in love and all the joys that coming together with a relationship can bring us. So there's
perfect.
It couldn't be more perfect. There are 2 people entwined with cups, and above them is a lion with angel's wings. So it's an angel lion. So I hope that's been helpful for you, my dear. I get a wonderful feeling about this relationship, and just be the star. Be the star in your own firmament, just like that beautiful star card that came out. And do make your wishes. I hope that's been helpful.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. And that ends the show for today. Thank you so much to my callers. If you did not get a chance to get on Angel Healing House Radio for those free calls, you can always call next week at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Transformation Talk Radio on Tuesdays. And if you are interested in my wonderful books, Angels of Faith, One True Home Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, when I spell it out about what happens across the veil and our one true home, and my autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, please do go to my website, which is angelhealinghouse.com. And as always, remember, everyone, you are free. You're free to fashion an absolutely beautiful life for yourself. Go forth and think about doing that this week. Not only think about doing it, do it. I'm wishing you love, unconditional love, as always, and angel blessings. And I will speak with you again next week. Take care, everyone. Bye. And absolutely beautiful life for yourself. Love and angel blessings. I look so forward to it. Bye.